free, and when they get finished in Tallahassee, we won't have any money to buy another one.
I'll bring over a card. That'll be fine.
So again, guys, in case you didn't keep it, refreshments inside. I know everybody's hot, so get some refreshments. And we've got departments in here to take a walk around and talk to people. Thank you.
Excellent job.
Iran and the United States traded strikes on Wednesday in the latest attacks in the Persian Gulf. President Donald Trump announces a new member of his cabinet. The Democratic Party is responding. Governor Ron DeSantis is proposing a new bill to lower property taxes. What that can mean for you. Right here in Leesburg, we'll give you an update on the downtown parking project, and we'll experience the excitement of opening day of the Leesburg Lightning. This is the Lake Report. Welcome to the Lake Report. I'm Lori Davis. We begin with the national news as Iran launched a deadly new set of attacks on the Persian Gulf on Wednesday as it traded strikes with the United States. The latest exchange to threaten the fragile ceasefire and stalled peace talks between the two countries. One person was killed and flights were suspended in Kuwait. Officials said after missile and drone strikes, including an attack on its international airport. The U.S. military said it shot down Iranian drones near the Strait of Hormuz and struck Iran's Qasem Island a day earlier. Repeated military exchanges between Washington and Tehran, as well as Israel's escalating campaign in Lebanon, have added strain to efforts to end the war and reopen the crucial trade route. The two sides offered mixed messages on the status of talks, with President Donald Trump insisting they were ongoing after Iran signaled it may walk away. Continuing with national news, Bill Pulte is the head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, and in that position, he has helped the Trump administration compile information to fuel investigations into the president's perceived political enemies. As acting director of national intelligence, Pulte will be the highest-ranking intelligence official overseeing a vast network of 18 agencies, including the CIA and the National Security Agency. He will also be the president's principal advisor on intelligence issue and will manage the daily intelligence briefing for the president. Trump announced on social media that Pulte will remain as director of the Housing Finance Agency, as well as chairman of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, government-sponsored enterprises created by Congress to support mortgage market. Senator Mark Warner of Virginia, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, slammed the decision, saying in a statement that Pulte was not only unqualified, but that he was chosen precisely because the White House believes he will provide the narrative it wants and not the intelligence we need. Warner also pointed out Pulte was chosen for his willingness to advance the president's political agenda rather than his experience. Governor Ron DeSantis built his political brand by railing against illegal immigration, woke ideology, and progressive tax reforms. As he campaigns to slash property taxes, the term-limited Republican is selling a new message more commonly associated with the political left: let the rich pay more. DeSantis has increasingly embraced that message as he pushes a sweeping overhaul of Florida's property tax system, arguing that wealthy snowbirds, investors, and luxury owners of property should shoulder more of the tax burden so that homesteaded Floridians can pay less or eventually nothing at all. DeSantis and fellow Republicans are selling a tax proposal designed to protect middle-class homeowners by preserving tax on wealthy property owners and second home buyers. Democrats, meanwhile, say the rhetoric sounds strikingly similar to the populist arguments against the very progressive DeSantis routinely attacks. Covering stories countywide, the mayor of Lady Lake forged ahead Monday night, proclaiming June as Pride Month despite opposition from some of his fellow commissioners. It was a dramatic moment when Mayor Ed Freeman went to the podium and read the proclamation. Proclamations are usually routine matters, and the town of Lady Lake proclaimed Pride Month with no opposition in 2024 and 2025. However, this year's Pride Month proclamation became a hot issue 2 weeks earlier when the mayor tried to gain consensus before formally reading the document onto the record. On Monday night, Commissioner Amanda McLean immediately asked that the proclamation be tabled. She initially had support for tabling the matter from fellow commissioners Ed Reagan and Mike Sage, with Sage aligned with the mayor and Commissioner Treva Roberts, who is gay. The balance shifted in favor of the proclamation. In front of a packed commission chambers, the mayor read the proclamation. Lake County has declared itself a protector of the Bill of Rights, joining an expanding movement by local governments to assert their autonomy against perceived federal overreach. With heavy public support, county commissioners voted 4-1 May 19th to adopt an ordinance that affirms Lake County's authority to sue the U.S. government for infringing on freedoms spelled out in the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. This is not a situation of ignoring duly adopted laws by the proper branch of government. It is a recognition of the exercise of our individual rights, Commissioner Chair Leslie Campione, the measure's sponsor, said ahead of the vote. The ordinance creates a local mechanism to challenge potentially constitutional laws in court, either through a board motion or a petition signed by at least 50 resident homeowners with homestead exemption. Commissioners renamed Lake County's measure Bill of Rights Protection Ordinance after Campione argued the word sanctuary in the title could distract from the law's intended purpose. A Clermont woman will appear in court this month for hosting a house party with alcohol and marijuana for a large crowd of teens. Officers responded to a large house party at the home of 47-year-old Claudia Yvonne Diaz on Valiant Drive around 11:10 p.m. Saturday, May 23rd, according to a case report from the Clermont Police Department. There were a lot of people and music had been played for the past hour at the residence. As law enforcement rounded the corner onto Valiant Drive, they were greeted by vehicles lining both sides of the road up to the home. Multiple juveniles aged 14 to 17 walked around the front of the home, along the sidewalk outside, and to the vehicles on the street. At some point, the officers found Diaz in the home and confirmed she was hosting a birthday party. Diaz was ultimately issued a citation for the open house party. She's due in court on June 16th. Legendary singer-songwriter Peabo Bryson has died. He was 75. The Grammy Awarded winner, known for his hit songs and duets including Beauty and the Beast and A Whole New World, and several R&B classics, died on Tuesday, according to a statement from his family. He transitioned peacefully at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on the evening of Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026, surrounded by the love of his family and those closest to him, according to the statement. The statement continued, "In this deeply difficult moment, the family asks for privacy as they mourn the loss of a beloved husband, father, family member, friend, and artist whose impact extended far beyond the stage." The statement went on to say, "We are tremendously moved by the outpouring of love, prayers, and support from fans, friends, and colleagues around the world. While our hearts are broken, we find comfort in knowing how deeply Peabo was loved and how many lives were touched by his voice and his generous spirit. His legacy in music will live on for generations to come. Peabo was a legendary talent. May he rest in peace." Our final story before the break focuses on a project that could shape the future of downtown Leesburg. As new businesses, events, and visitors continue to fuel growth, city leaders are exploring solutions to address one of the community's most talked about issues, parking. If you've ever been to Leesburg, you know that parking has always been a challenge. It's a growing community that's looking for new ways to come up with great ideas on how to solve the parking problem. So right now, we're heading into the Venetian Center for the 5th Street Parking Project. We're here tonight at the Venetian Center, and a lot of things had to happen for this to be coming to life, the 5th Street Parking Project. So what all went on behind the scenes?
So in 2019, we did a downtown master plan. And in that master plan, we've identified several projects to do downtown to increase the economic situation and bring more life and more businesses and draw citizens to downtown. So since a lot of those projects have been coming to fruition, we have a need for more parking, and this project's gonna mitigate that.
Yeah, so this is what we officially call our 5th Street Downtown Parking Project.
Okay.
It is currently occupied with what we call our Art Center here, and we will be demoing that building and adding 48 additional parking spaces with proper lighting and beautiful landscaping. Our intent is to make sure our residents have the ability to park and enjoy our downtown, and we feel so strongly and passionate about this project, and it's going to be able to fulfill that.
Now tell me who can park here, because we know there's a lot of areas in the downtown that is designated parking for certain businesses or the school that's down there. So who's going to be able to park in these parking spaces?
All residents,
Oh.
all business owners, open to everyone. Yeah, you're right. There are some designated spaces. Currently, this space here is for live stream, but we do have an agreement where we're going to be able to utilize that, as I mentioned, improve it, and then utilize it for all residents moving forward.
Faye, tell me about phase 1 of this construction project.
Phase 1 is going to involve the removal of the old arts building on Magnolia and the associated parking lot behind that to the south. And that phase is going to include milling the existing paved areas. And then where the existing building is now, we're going to create a new parking lot there with some drainage, and that'll kind of open up an area for additional parking.
So this project super important that I mention it will be phased. What I mean with that is phase 1, we'll start here where the existing Arts Center is. We'll complete that part. We'll jump into phase 2, which is on the southern part of this plan, and then phase 3 is on the northwestern portion of this plan. What that means is that at all times someone will be able to park. We do not want to close off this project in one piece. We want to phase it so it can be utilized. We don't have to prevent business owners or residents from parking here.
What's the timeline for completion?
November of 2026.
Oh,
Is-
that's
yeah,
fast.
yeah,
Very
pretty
good. So
fast.
I think the businesses and the residents will respond well to that, knowing that it's not going to drag on for.
It will not
months
drag
and
on. You will be seeing fencing around the site where we're going to be constructing, but that will be the only location that has construction. Everything else will be able to be utilized. It's also important to say that phase 3, once we do get there, there's going to be a whole reconfiguration of access, ingress, egress points. Currently, you're able to enter this portion here. As you see, this will be closed off. They'll have additional parking spaces